Hello, everyone. My name is Gabby Martinson, and today I will be talking to you about the effects of cyberbullying in social media. When people talk about social media, they only seem to focus on the great things it has to offer, how it keeps us in touch with our families, our friends, and keeps people up to date in our everyday lives. It lets us know the latest trends, news, and even meeting new people. Yet people do not really see what happens beyond the LOLs, emojis, hashtags, likes, and selfies. That there are things most people fear. For example, bullying, stereotypes, pedophilia, and hackers. Almost all kids don't think about things when they post stuff online, like how it's going to affect them later on in the future, or how it's going to affect them in their school life or just personal life. They are just trying to become internet famous or trying to have just more followers than their friends. Like most people say, you never know who is on the other end of the screen. On the internet, people can be anyone they choose to be. That's why people can never be too safe when it comes to online safety. Through the media's stereotypes and cyberbullying, adolescents are more likely to have depression and lower self-esteem, proving that social media causes a negative outlook on life. One of my very close friends from high school, her name was Lynn. We were in a photography club together, and she was one of the best photographers we had. She had a lot of social media pages where she shared her creativity and love for photography with others. She loved to show her own beauty and the beauty of the world around us on her different social media pages. Then, after a while, some hateful people came around and just started calling her some very hurtful names. They made fun of her appearance, her weight, her ethnicity, etc. The comments got so bad, it started to affect her personally. At first, she just shook it off, it didn't really matter, but more people just came, and the more the negativity spread, she became very depressed and started to hate herself and her own photos. She used to cry all the time about all the hurtful things people would say about her. And she even started to self harm due to all the negativity. After a while and some coaching from her friends, we did convince her to go see a therapist to get help. She deleted all of her social media pages and no longer shares her photography with others. The negativity that others showed her made her give up something that she loved doing and something that helped her express herself. This shows the effect social media can have on people. Yes, it is an outlook for creativity, but social media can also be an outlet for negativity. Now, cyberbullying affects mostly from the ages of 10 to 20, which is when people really are developing into their own person, whether they're just trying to figure out themselves, like their hobbies, their dislikes, their likes, even like their own sexuality, and sometimes they're even their own gender. Now, females are mostly are affected by cyberbullying. I know that you see like the pretty Instagram models whose photos may or may not be Photoshop or Facetune. And then people see that and they think that is the image that every female has to be, which then affects them emotionally and sometimes physically by developing eating disorders, a body dysmorphia, depression, just because their skin's too dark or their eye color isn't right, their hair's too short, maybe their height isn't, they're not tall enough or short enough, and maybe they're just like overweight. And it really does just affect them emotionally and just rots their self esteem. Again, social media does affect people negatively when they are cyberbullied. They can cause depression. They can want to just isolate themselves from the world, being like the world is bad and like just being alone is fine. They can get physically sick from eating disorders. They can just feel absolutely humiliated since social media is in public, so you're being bullied in the public's eye, or they can just get angry because they're trying to figure out why are they being targeted. And not only is it online, but it also does drag on to school and to classrooms because other students see that the person is getting cyberbullied and they're just hopping on the bandwagon and just dragging it into their everyday life. Now, of course, cyberbullying is not just the United States problem, it's worldwide. India is actually the leading country with 37% of adolescents reporting to be cyberbullied, and Russia being the lowest with 1%. That is about nearly a million people getting cyberbullied every single year. I got that statistic from Cyberbullying Statistics and Facts, written by Sam Cook in 2018. Now, another thing about cyberbullying is that it does affect them so bad. Sometimes when the victims are just trying to escape the negativity, they do the most extreme and commit suicide. Suicide rates have been increasing over the last decade, with about 14% of victims committing suicide and 7% attempting but not succeeding. And just in the United States alone, it's about 30,000 United States citizens every single year. And I also got that statistic as well from Sam Cook, the Cyberbullying Statistics and Facts. In a survey of parents and adults across Asia, 79% reported that either their child or a child they know had been threatened with physical harm while playing online video games. And I also got that statistic from Sam Cook. Cyberbullying can be on any source of social media like Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, etc. Social media causes a negative outlook on life through stereotypes, cyberbullying, because a lot of teens think that stereotypes are true and then bully kids that fit the description of said stereotype. Like if someone who knows a lot of history facts, they become a nerd and then they get bullied because they are really smart. Or if someone is like really good at music and they get bullied because they're super talented. Or if someone's not the smartest person ever, they get bullied because they're dumb. Then the victims end up with depression, different types of disorders, phobias, high stress levels, and social anxiety, which might cause them to think or even commit suicide. Even though social media has positive things like staying connected with our families, our friends, or just meeting new people, discovering ourselves through and expressing ourselves through media, there's always going to be a negative effect that it has on people because some people just can't control that themselves or that source of responsibility. And that's just how the world works. Social media is a tool which people tend to abuse to spread false information and to bully helpless victims. Now, I know what everyone's thinking, like, what can I do as a person or what can we do as a community in this regard? Well, if you see someone posting a negative comment under someone's profile, you just post a positive comment. Like, ignore them, you're beautiful, you're really talented, you're smart, like, whatever it is. Or if you find yourself being bullied, you can report the person that's doing it, block them, tell a teacher, talk to your friends, or if you really feel like it's affecting you mentally, you can go see a therapist for help. Or if it gets so bad that it's just unbearable, just delete social media. It's honestly not the end of the world if you don't have an Instagram or a Snapchat. I myself don't have Facebook because when I was younger, I was very much bullied on it by not only people I knew from school, but also from my own cousins because I was different than them. I liked different kinds of music and TV shows than they did, and I very much expressed my opinion. And not even that, but I also was bullied because of my sexuality. So I just ended up just deleting it, and I never added any of those people on any of my other accounts. I made everything privated so they could never get to it. And I'm speaking from a victim of this. I try to like just take deep breaths and count to 10, or just ignore the comment and try to find ways that the positive. I know I talked to a therapist and they're just like, oh, look in the mirror and say 3 things about yourself that is positive. like I'm really smart, I like my eye color, like things like that. And it does actually help because then you forget about the negativity that they once showed you. And I think as a community, if we can just stick together in this and just post positive comments and just think before we post, that it will end up affecting the whole world. And just to show people like that you love yourself and you're not taking your own insecurities on others, and show that others that they should love themselves, and we should all just love and respect each other instead of posting negative things. And because the world's already so cool, why should we add to it? So thank you so much for listening to my speech. And my final words to you is just think before you post. And these are my sources that I used. And if you do want to learn more about the problems of social media, I have some really good videos. I'm out of time here, so I'm just going to leave these links here. And if you want to look at them later, perfect. Bye bye.